questions?
Mainly, there's two, but let's start with the one right now. What happens if you put the images in an image folder?
Okay, it's the same process. So we can just do that. So here's what we'll do. We'll create a new folder. We'll name it images. Again, you don't have to name it images, but it's just the most frequently used thing. We are now going to put the images, all three, in the images folder. And this is the best way to work because this is nice and tidy, especially when you start loading this up on the server. You might have, 20 or 50, HTML pages all in one area. You got all of your images in a nice, neat place, and all of your CSS in one nice, neat place. Maybe JavaScript in another, etc. This is the preferred way to work. This, of course, is going to break everything again. Having done that, we get whoops. So you'll see that now we have the alt text is displaying for header image because it can't show the image. That path is broken. It still found the main CSS. The path to that was correct, so the page still looks kind of nice. The path to the background image no longer works, and the path to the button no longer works, which is why we're getting the alt text displayed for it too. PayPal, the safer, easier way to pay online. Okay, so that's what's being displayed because of the broken image paths. And again, we're not seeing the background image because of an image path problem. So let's fix it. So how do we fix it? Well, let's see. Again, you have to start with the understanding of where are you working from and where are you trying to go to? Well, let's go take a look. We're now working from, again, the same document, the same file, and we're trying to find our images inside of the images folder. Again, coming from a file, going to the folder is down the level. And how we go down is we simply just add the directory or folder name to the path. So images / headerdemo.jpg is going to fix that image. It knows from this page, from this HTML, go down into the images folder, and then after that the / is what to do next. Look for the file named headerdemo.jpg. That's fixed. We come down to the button. It's the same thing. Images / add to cart button. Save that. We'll go look at it, and that's going to fix the first two. Still not going to fix the background image. Let's see here. So we fixed the header the header image, and if we scroll down, we'll have fixed the Buy Now button. Those are both fat. The problem is this background image. So we got to start again. Where are we coming from and where are we going to? Well, now, before the path was coming out of the CSS folder and looking for a file. It was coming up a level and finding it. Well, that's not the case anymore. Now we've got kind of a two-directional thing. It's coming from this file and it needs to come up a level to get out of it. And as soon as it gets out of it, it needs to go down a level into the images folder. So it's coming up a level to get out of this folder and then immediately down a level to get into the images folder where it finds it. So let's go back and open up the CSS, style.css file. Before, we simply used the double dot / to go up a level and then find it. Well, now we need to go up and then down. We do that just by adding images. So this says initially to go up and get out of the CSS folder, and then what to do? Well, go down or into the images folder and then go find that same image with the same name. And now that that's fixed, we have our background image back and everything is back to working exactly as it should. Okay?
Okay. The other question was, is the space required between the closing tag and the code? Go to like the meta tag on your HTML.
Talking about when we self-close?
Yeah, self-close.
Yeah, so I believe the answer is no. I believe it will work fine this way. But if you look at all of the documentation in like formal training, W3 schools, etc., they will all use the space after it. So that's my usage and my recommendation too. But no, I do believe that this will work. And I guess if we make this live real quick with one of those like that, and we refresh, we can go validate it real quick and just check. And
yeah, that was the next question. Does it validate?
I think the answer is yes, and the answer is yes.
Yeah.
That's not going to stop it from validating. But look at how easy it is to not validate. How about this? I mean, simply, literally, one missing forward slash. That's it. Just that one missing. Well, actually, I don't want to put it there. I'll put it up in the head so I can find it easier. How about that very first meta name description? What if we get rid of just that one? I mean, it's really simple, isn't it? I mean, it's not like that's some crazy high-tech thing, but immediately you're going to see, bingo, it won't validate. And it won't validate simply because that one element wasn't properly closed. So it is coding HTML and CSS. There's just no way around it. This is an exercise for the individual who is, what's the word I'm looking for, Jerry?
When you take the time to
detail-oriented.
Detail-oriented, yes.
Yeah, and hopefully what we've done though is given you, some decent debugging information just as part of this process, just to kind of show you, hey, when things don't work, you can use the W3C validator basically as your eyes and ears to give you some really good information in regards to what needs to be fixed. So.
Great. And the other thing is, if it does validate, it doesn't mean it's going to look right.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. I mean, you get other things. The validator is a tool. It's not a final word. So.
Yeah, Jerry brings up a very good point, and it's a very frustrating point because you can have valid code that will validate through the validator, and it looks horrid, and that's just something that you're going to have to learn as you go along. Hopefully, we've given you a lot of tools to add to your arsenal to ensure that your content looks really nice along the way. But yeah, what Jerry says is absolutely true. Just because it validates does not necessarily mean that it looks perfect.
Okay.
Guess we can go back to this. It's better, prettier looking.
All right. There's some people asking, if you could do certain things. We really don't have the time to do everything that you could possibly do with this, but.
Right. The next two sessions, we're going to do a whole lot more. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little bit scared only because it's a strong jump from where we are. But I'm hoping that we've done a really good job of kind of bringing you along in a manner that really makes sense and has kind of helped building your understanding of everything that we're doing. But the next two sessions that we're going to do in regards to the more full-featured website and PSD slicing stuff is definitely a few rungs up the ladder.
Okay. Just an offside thing. Somebody was asking, how do you get to change the date automatically? You see that on a lot of sales letters. And that's actually not done through HTML or CSS. That would be done either through some sort of language such as JavaScript or PHP.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started this off, the very first HTML and CSS training, we started this off with the definition for what HTML meant, right? It's the hypertext markup language, and I was very specific to tell you that that markup was the most important term out of that four. A markup language is something that simply just helps you define content to the browser. It's not a coding language, and Jerry can give you the more specific kind of background into the differences between coding language and scripting languages. But what Jerry just said is absolutely true. You add dynamic elements through coding or scripting languages. Dynamic elements are not added through HTML. Just for fun, I can tell you that there is a website. If we go to Google, put in site:/dynamicdrive.com, and we'll just put in for, I don't know, JavaScript date. Let's see if we can find something quick. So dynamicdrive.com is the website. There's a ton of little code snippets that you can readily use on your sites. I'm not sure which one is proper. This one has date and time. Not really looking for date and time. We'll just take a quick peek at it. See what we got. Let's see. You got a snippet for me, Jerry?
No, not offhand, but there's a bunch of them here, and you can get an idea. I think if you put live date is close. It's not perfect. It's doing a little bit more than what you want, and then just. But what it's doing is it inserts at a particular date the current time. So you would, that's a little bit more. That one's actually updating all the time. If you look at the top, it says demo Friday, March 2012. They're updating by the second. So you can see, the current time. And you usually wouldn't use that. But I mean, this is a more robust one. But it's basically a piece of JavaScript that when it loads, it does what they call a document write, and it outputs a string, and the string is today's date. In PHP, you would echo date and then the year, the command for year. And it's pretty straightforward, but it just depends on your environment and what you want to do.
So just to give you a quick understanding, this is a piece of JavaScript at the top. This is the JavaScript code that's causing that information to be output, and this is right here. It says add the below into the body tag itself. So it's kind of a two-part process. You have to paste this into typically it says insert the below in anywhere into the body section. That's interesting. A lot of JavaScript is input into the head, but this says into the body section, and then this is added to the body tag. So I mean, if you were to copy this entire thing out, and it says to put it in the body section, so we'll just follow along. It's saying to add that entire script there, and then to call it out or to make it happen, basically, it's saying that you want to change the body tag itself to include this new code. So this body tag right here switches from just body itself to this, and if this is accurate, this will work, and if it's not, oops, then it won't. But then this is getting above, let's see here. So here you go. It's not in the right place, but that's, yeah, there's the information, and it's live on the site. If I took a little time, let's see, it looks like it's being called out by the span. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is the actual bit right here that's causing it to output. If I cut that from there and I decide that I want to put it right there at the date, I can just output it right in that area and then refresh, and it should now have the live date inside of the date area, and it does. So now you'll see
I'm sending you a simpler one.
Okay, there's just we could talk on this type of topic for literally forever.
Yeah, but yeah, there's ones that are just one line or a couple liners and stuff. You can do more advanced stuff.
So
but that's how it's done.
You just sent me.
Yeah, I just sent you.
A URL.
TZAG, yeah, a URL to TZAG that just has a much simpler one, which is what most of the sales pages use. Personally, I don't like it because I find it deceptive to use, and I'm not into, and I understand it, and it kind of bothers me if people try to say it's today's date, but...
All right, so this is the new one. We'll send this URL out to everybody too, but you'll see that the HTML in JavaScript is like really, really, simplistic and basic as opposed to this. So let's see, it looks like this is just outputting.
The current date, and it's not even working. I thought that one was working.
Yeah, it looks like
Nice.
it's
Well,
it looks like it's broken. We'll send you.
We'll include a snippet
Yeah.
for PHP and a snippet for JavaScript to give you an idea, but it's beyond the scope of basic HTML and CSS.
CSS, yeah, absolutely. But you get the idea. I mean, we just went and found a little quick snippet from a free site, dynamicdrive.com, and we now have a live updated, date and time. Whether you use it or not, it's entirely up to you. But that's how that's done. It's not done through HTML. Again, HTML is not dynamic. Anything else important, Jerry?
Let's see. We just got that.
If not, if there aren't any questions, okay. If there aren't questions, if you could take just a minute and just let us know how this was, if this was super helpful or not. Jerry and I would appreciate the feedback. I know, we're going to get a lot deeper in the next two sessions. We're also going to have to, just because of time issues, we're going to have to do a lot of copy paste of code and explain more than just writing code live, because honestly it would take probably a couple of full days to do it if we did it that way. But I think we've got a plan that's going to work out really, really well to give a really solid understanding of PSD slicing in a more complex layout. Is that it? We're good.
That's it. I want to remind people that they need to, we put the links to sign up for the next two online.
Yeah.
Next two webinars.
Yeah, the next two webinars, Beyond the Basics, Part 1 and Part 2, we've scheduled for, let's see, Wednesday the 21st and Friday the 23rd, and then that'll conclude the HTML and CSS portion. Then, like I said in my email outgoing, Jerry's going to have a week off after that, and then we'll pick up. Yeah, we'll pick up again on April 2nd with WordPress, a WordPress tour and the basics of WordPress. So we still have the new intermediate advanced HTML and CSS on the 21st and 23rd of this month next week. So make sure that you register for those as well. Okay. Guess that's it. Thanks again, Jerry. Appreciate it. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you, Kevin.
Have a great day, a great weekend. It's supposed to rain like cats and dogs here. Yep. Say it's going to get cold. We might get some hail. Where I'm at, we're about 15 minutes away from the foothills of Mount Baldy, so it's really beautiful when it happens like this, because basically out my kitchen window it's just a big white blanketed mountain, which is awesome. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah,
might get down to 2,000 feet, they say.
Yeah, so cool. Everybody have a great weekend, and again, we will get this up as soon as we possibly can, but understand that it is the weekend, so it may go up really fast. It may not go up till Monday. I'm not sure, but we'll see. And if nothing else, we'll also make sure that you get the source files for everything that we did today. We'll include all of the extra little things, the demo header image, the background images, some other stuff that we didn't mess around with, just such that you can use it to play around with this further. And I should make, I guess, one last extra note is we're also going to, I'm going to build corresponding pages for the terms of service, the privacy policy, and the earnings disclaimers. In addition to that, I basically paid a whole lot of money. One of my marketing friends online, his business partner is an attorney, and he had his business partner create basic boilerplate content for terms of service content, privacy policy content, and earnings disclaimer content. It may or may not work, perfectly for your usage. I am not an attorney, so I can't guarantee you any amount of protection by supplying the content to you, but I paid a lot of money for it. With the understanding that what I can do with it is to pass it along. So in addition to laying out the content for you, I'm going to supply the content, which again was written by a California licensed attorney, and you can either decide to use it or modify it to your liking, but that's just going to be an extra benefit that we're just going to give to you as part of this process. So I think that's it.